Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Powerful Podcast, where every single week we have this show where we debate both sides of every wealth and business issues. We give you our opinion, and then you decide. The media has been extremely one-sided. You watch CNN or Fox or BBC or one side of the view, and you got one side. And in order to be successful in business and in life, you have to take a look at both sides of every issue, and that's what this show is all about. Hello, my name is JT Foxx. I'm the world's #1 wealth and business coach, serial entrepreneur, best-selling author, private equity investor, as well as a property investor. And the woman you see here is my co-host and the CEO of all my companies. Her name is Francie, but we call her Pac. Welcome back to the show.
All right, it's great to be here. What are we debating?
Well, we also have another daily podcast, which is every single day, I report the business news. I read over 40 different newspapers and give you the best. I think the biggest problem is people do not sharpen their business acumen, and that's ultimately what people need to do. So you just search JT Foxx 2 X's and you'll find it as well. So the first topic is Elon Musk. Is he a genius or is he just bat crazy? Bat crazy is kind of ironic since we're still in the coronavirus era. So little sort of recap. So about a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, said that, the stock was going to go to 420. It was smoking marijuana and there wasn't a deal. He got fined by the SEC. The stock crashed below 300. Then it explodes to like 925. Then it goes down during the beginning of the coronavirus. And now the stock is back up to $600, $700, $800. Then he makes a claim, says the stock is too overvalued. He has a clause that says if the company of the valuation is 100 billion, he gets 725 million, and almost self-sabotages that deal and basically says it's overvalued, people shouldn't pay that much, sending the stock down, losing $13 billion, and also having the stock go down 12-13% as well. He has a new baby. I don't know what kind of symbol or they're doing in letters, but that turns out you can't do that in California. There's a lot of crazy things that go around. Meanwhile, Tesla reported, now mind you, there was a pandemic, $16 million profit. But the stock keeps going up, yet they're shut down. They're not producing anything. Even if there had been a pandemic, there probably would have been a $30-40 million profit, which is extremely low considering the market cap and the valuation of companies that make. So is he crazy? So that's all the facts. Pac, what do you think?
So this is what I think about Elon Musk. Does he work incredibly hard? Yes. Is he gonna, outwork anyone? Has he had business success in the past? Yes. Is he very, is he always kind of inventing something new? Yes, absolutely. I also think he is batshit crazy. And I think the issue is people have just turned Elon Musk into a god. I mean, he literally tweeted and said, our stock price is overvalued. You guys are crazy. It's valued way too high. The stock immediately starts going down, right? Immediately starts going down. The next day, right? I believe that was a Friday. So Monday, the stock literally regained and went higher than where it was on Friday because for some
784, it's at 785 as we speak. So
yes.
In case that.
And I know people that are day traders that make a lot of money on Elon Musk and his batshit craziness because it's predictable.
Can I use the word bat? I mean, it reminds me of how we're all shut down still. I'm not wearing my suit. We're not allowed to use the word bat.
He is bird shit crazy, but here, like I said, he will outwork everyone. He is I give him so much credit for how hard he works. But I think the problem is people believe so much and want him to make it so bad that they keep investing in him and they keep believing.
I'm not together with you. I think all this is planned. He knows that every tweet he does, people are going to talk about him like we're doing now.
What's the plan of saying stock price is valued? You're self-sabotaging.
But
What CEO?
I think
What
he thinks,
CEO? What
I think
owner
he
says
does it to
my
get
company's
attention.
overvalued?
He does it to get attention, and he does it knowing that we're going to talk about it, and people are going to, it's kind of like that some people, and we've seen that, put some attention out there, you know, to get noticed, to get people to talk about him as well. And I think deep down, he probably sits there, okay, and thinks he's better than everybody, right? That he'll make that. Look at what me, because it's been Elon Musk versus the world. Don't forget, they told him that he wouldn't make it in the car twice. Short sellers bet on him to lose all the time, and now the stock is high. I think this has built up an ego. We've seen that with people in our industry as well, where it builds up these ego, where you think you're unstoppable, where you think you're the best and you're unstoppable and nothing, you could say whatever you want. And the problem with that is that one day something can happen and it can all crumble, because no one is invincible.
Here's my problem as a people that are shareholders of his company, employees of his company, right? I'm the CEO of your company. If I went out there and started tweeting, people pay JT Foxx too much money, you would fire me. And then I'm saying, oh, I'm just getting attention, so people start talking about it. You can't do that. Like, whether it's you can't do that shit.
I'm taking you're blocked off. I cannot see you. You are now fired. I can but I can still do the Zoom. You're still there, but I can do the whole show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to One Powerful Person. Yeah. So
that's
you know, it's
we can't do that.
But here's the thing: we've seen this crazy behavior in other parts, and we're not going to mention it, but we've seen it in other parts and other people doing it lately. People call it the quarantine. I mean, Elon Musk called the guy pedo, which we had this discussion here. I like the way Bob Iger, you know, chairman of Disney, former CEO, the way Warren Buffett is kind of conducting themselves at a higher level of authority. But you can't deny the result.
Musk
you cannot deny the result.
Cowboy. He is a cowboy. He's doing whatever he wants to, and he is bird shit crazy. I'm not saying he's not going to be successful. I'm not saying Tesla's not going to make it.
Hey, listen, as the world #1 wealth coach, if someone comes to me and says, I want to start a solar, a space company, an electric car company, I'm like, are you crazy? And as Steve Jobs said, those who are crazy enough to change the world are usually the ones who do. So in the end, right, crazy, high stock price, are you willing to deal with it? Or what goes up can come really down. It remains to be seen what your thoughts on that as well. So second issue I want to discuss today is places all over the world are starting to open. In Europe, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Europe. The only places that are not opening is where I live in Chicago, right? In fact, it's getting worse here.
You're still getting worse there.
So Chicago is taking a very conservative approach. You know, like phase 3 is you can have 50 people in a room in one place, and then phase 4 is basically anybody over 50 won't happen until there's a vaccine. So sports, like large movie theaters, anything with festivals, conventions. I mean, this is shocking because Chicago has a lot of conventions. Okay, that is in Chicago, where I live. Florida, where I also live, primarily, where you live as well. They're driven by, they're a little less lax as well. So now here's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the world's reopened, right? New reality. I mean, I was reading something that was shocking, that in the elevator, I was reading what they're planning on doing here, is you go in the elevator, no more than 4 people. And in the elevator, there would be 4 little places, and everyone would have to face like, you know, face the wall, you know. And I was reading and exit and enter, and it was insane. But let's say we open, and some states are reopening where it's not necessarily contained, but they have to, okay? The question is, let's say there's a reinfection, and they say, we got to shut down again. We got to shut down again because this is going to get out of control. The hospitals are starting to get overwhelmed. This could get bad. You know, by this time, we'll probably find out that not everybody's dying, but there's still people are dying. It's reinfection. We need to shut down for another, you know, a month and a half, 2 months, 1 month. Number one, will we shut down? Should we shut down? And will the people allow it to be shut down? What are your thoughts?
We won't shut down again. I think regardless of if the government shuts it down or doesn't shut it down, you already have in a lot of states, you know, Florida is one of those states. I don't see the people of Texas or Georgia or certain states saying, okay, yes, we're going to shut down again. I think people have hit their max. And I think where we're going to is people are going to say, we're not shutting down. And if you don't feel safe, stay the F at home. And the problem is the economy, you know, even though I don't know how the Dow is back where it, you know, it all doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, people are not, unemployment, you know, at an all-time high, even though it's less than it was a few prior weeks. So they're saying it looks like we may have been through the worst, but people aren't going to stay home anymore. People aren't going to not work anymore. Unemployment benefits aren't going to just continue forever. People have to get back to work. The economy has to start growing. And I think people are just going to say, you can't force me to stay at home anymore. And I'm right or wrong, good or bad. I don't think the people are going to stand for being shut down.
I'm going to take the other view on this. They're going to have to, because what's going to happen is, and you mentioned this yesterday on TV, you talk to a certain political party, the Republicans, let's say, and they're like, we are not going to shut down none. And then the Democrats are like, oh, you know what I mean? So that's the how both of them are. So what happens is you're going to start seeing a lot of people get sick. Let's just say people get sick, people in the office, somebody dies. And what hasn't been resolved yet is the liability. Now think about us as companies owners. Someone comes into our office, they get coronavirus, they give it to everybody in the office, one person dies. Am I liable? Now the Republicans are trying to absolve businesses from that. The Democrats are now fighting it. And that's, you know, in America is definitely more litigious than everywhere else in the world. So that's something, but what you're going to have is people saying, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to risk it. So you have people, I want to go to work. I don't want to go to work. I think the media, in a way, is just waiting to talk about, oh my God, someone went there and they all got coronavirus. They are going to go, it's so bad that it's going to create so much fear mongering that they will have no choice to shut down. Now, people will revolt, they will threaten, there might be even civil unrest, okay? Civil unrest. But I think they'll have no other choice as well. And also, too, I think it's going to be a political decision. And I'll tell you why. Is because President Trump is running for re-election. And if the majority of the people say that they should re-shut down again, he'll do it. If the majority of the people say they don't want to shut down again, he'll go with that, because without it,
well, I mean, just
he
like
doesn't get reelected. So this will be more of a political decision.
But just like the coronavirus task force, right? 2 days ago, he says he's shutting it down. Everyone freaks out. Now he's saying we're not shutting it down because he's. But speaking of that, and speaking of the media, this plays into this. In Arizona, they are about to reopen, and the government officials of Arizona have asked the experts, the virus experts, to stop making projections because the outbreak there has not hit its peak. So if you look at the Arizona chart, their max is like 250 cases a day, right? So comparatively to Florida, New York, Texas, you know, all these other places that had gotten thousands of cases a day, 250 cases a day seems like nothing. However, if you look at their graph, much like Illinois, it is still uptrending. So
what is the point?
My point is, should they be reopening, one, and two, is it the media? And because this is what people are arguing, it's the media freaking everyone out. When you look at a state like Florida, right, where a state like Florida, where you have 500 cases a day compared to the population size, that's not that much. In Illinois, 1,000 people a day with the population of Chicago, right? Is it really that bad? Florida never maxed out hospital beds. I don't think Illinois has ever maxed out hospital beds. Is it really
I better be sorry. where in Italy, people were like in the hallways, and I think people saw what the news media was reporting, like people in the hallways and dead bodies everywhere. So they just overcrushed, which that was smart as well. So listen, at the end of the day, with the amount of cases they haven't hit the peak because they were very, very low for a long time. But they're just, at the end of the day, everyone's just going to reopen now.
Continuing to grow every day. So here's the thing: we're reopening.
This was like, is this your topic? Is this what you came up with? Because I got some better things to talk about. Whether or not this thing you talk about, I got something better.
All right, go ahead. I have another one, but go ahead.
Okay, here's a good one. Should international travel restart again? You have Australia, which almost is done. New Zealand, pretty much like done the coronavirus, right? Self-contained. They're both economies that are very driven by tourism. People go there. So if they open, are they opening themselves up to another infection and then making it worse now that they've stabilized? Okay. But it's going to hurt their economy because of people, obviously tourism and a lot of driving people go in there. Same thing in America. Should we let people in? Canada is scaling down. Should they let America in? Should they? The UK is pretty bad. Who wants to let the UK in right now? So should international travel be banned until 2021? Your thoughts?
No. International travel should open with restrictions.
What kind of restrictions?
Okay. So I think we should resume international travel. I think there should be temperature and symptom checks. And I think if you have a fever, you have symptoms, you aren't allowed to get on the plane. It's that simple. Or you're not even allowed to go into the airport. And international travel can resume with symptom checks. And you know, we travel all the time. We used to travel all the time. How many times have one of us gotten on a plane sick? Right? How many times? A ton. There was an entire tour where everyone was sick for, what was that, 2 weeks?
Let's not put this in like how sick and what we sick. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just
like
saying,
disrespectfully.
People get on planes when they are not feeling well.
You're compared to cold and flu. I think we should not.
I mean, I was on a plane.
Here's the thing. I think
I was on a plane with flu. I had a fever. I didn't know it was the flu yet.
Open until this thing happens. Okay. And by the way, not
everything
travel costs a lot of money. Let me tell you what it is. Until people can, because here's the thing, you may not have symptoms and still pass it around. That's the problem with this thing. Okay. Until there's enough testing that before you get on the plane, you either have the antibodies or you have it. If there could be testing where you're clear, okay, you had it, you have the antibodies or you're not, okay? Now the question, who's gonna pay for that? Are the airlines gonna pay for that? Are the people gonna pay for that? I don't know. But it is too much of a risk because let's say Australia and New Zealand have to shut down again, okay? That's actually worse for the economy. Now, it's horrible not to have any tourism, but at least they can self-fulfill their economy and sustain. So if you can test, I'm fine. If not, and by the way, I want to get on a plane. I want to do something, but there's a liability. You just want to go to visa. You just want to go to visa.
No. Hey, where was Charlie and where did he just fly back from? So there are still fucking flights coming in from the UK.
Oh, the word.
There's still flights coming into the US from the UK. So why not just start travel? Because there's still flights going around the world that people are on, and people just think that traveling is not happening. It's still happening. There's literally flights coming from the UK to the US right now as we speak.
And so to me, but very little people are on it. Maybe there's few here and there. And here's the thing too, in a way, I think that's irresponsible of having people, like who needs to travel right now? Like who from the UK needs to come to America? Like what ain't no business because it's all shut down. I think that's irresponsible. And I would like to see a test because I think what's going to happen is over a longer term period. And by the way, this whole chaos, I mean, I'm getting better property deals and buying businesses. And by the way, not having international travel is devastating to our business, okay? But I am looking at it from an economic point of a world economic
You could
basis.
get on an
That,
airplane right now.
and you know what the media is. One person's gonna be like the whole plane got sick, and then they're gonna hazmat suits, and it's gonna look horrible,
But here's
stuff
different.
like that.
You could get on an airplane right now and go.
Yeah.
You just don't. You don't.
Well, you can't. Hold on. You can't go to Australia and you can't go to New Zealand. You may come to America, but look about those two places as well. I'm looking because we have people that listen to the show all over the world. We have a lot of Australians and New Zealanders. So what I'm telling you is, okay. So people are still coming to America, whatever. But here's the thing too. If you're New Zealand right now, do you let Americans come in, knowing the epicenter? Do you let? And by the way, where do all the flights coming from? They come. A lot of the flights actually come from California. California is still very high. There are direct flights from New York and Dallas, but they put this on hold as well. So it is a very, very tricky situation as well. So here's the thing. Emirates have started testing some of the people. I haven't heard too much about it since they talked about it 2 weeks ago, and something we should research more what they do. But they've very suspended a lot of places. And also too, I love our South African clients. We have a lot of people from South Africa that listen to us. But, you know, they're just reopening because to them, they have to reopen because they were in a technical recession. They have to reopen. They have no other choices. Do you think we ought to get flights coming in from South Africa to New York, Washington, and Atlanta? Flights you and I have been many times knowing that they have no choice to reopen.
Well,
and
the brand is so bad. How are they even going to get on a flight?
What? Oh, well,
the brand is so bad.
Okay, well, not everybody's broke. Not everybody's broke.
But I mean,
so,
okay, for all.
How about this? How about I talk?
South Africa, there was 230 cases yesterday.
Okay, and by the way, but also they're in the beginning of it. You watch. We know we've been there. It is going to explode. You mark my word. And by the way, remember you and I, we canceled a New York event because there was less than 100 people in there, and 2 weeks later, look what happened. And South Africa does not have mass testing yet. That is, and we're talking about third world countries. I promise you, it is going to get very bad there. I promise you. And in India, where nobody says anything, right? It was very quiet. It's exploded. Turkey, I said this 2 weeks ago. How come we're not, a week ago, how come we're not hearing a lot about Turkey? Man, they're getting
relatively, yes, India is still growing. But they're, you know, they hit a peak at 3,875 cases on May 5th.
They don't have mass testing as well, so we know.
That's a low number for the population and the density.
You will watch those two places when we do our show next week. The numbers will be different. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast, The Debate. We give you both sides. You decide. We gave you both sides of every issue. Please. You know, the best advice I tell you is that sometimes we're so locked into one point of view. Look at both sides. Whether you agree with it or not agree with it, make that decision and then decide. Because sometimes we're so stuck on a belief that we cannot remove ourselves as well. So make sure that you tune in. We are posting this. Make sure you like this on YouTube, as this is also on YouTube. And leave us a comment about what you think about what we said. This is not about insulting or anybody or not liking someone because they're diverse. I respect everybody's decision as well. Pac, what do you want to say?
All I want to say is let's make bird shit crazy trend. And
don't forget to get this. Go ahead.
Don't forget, give us 5-star review, leave us a review, leave us a comment on whatever platform you're listening on, tell your friends, share it with everyone. And don't forget that nothing is more powerful than the truth.
And of course, as we're saying, we have video. This is on YouTube. So for those who are listening on any platform, whether it's Spotify or Apple or whatever, wherever you listen to, you want to see the video of this, you can go also on YouTube and search JT Foxx.
If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up.
Give a thumbs up too. But remember that success is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. Also, every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, live coaching on Instagram, where I randomly coach people I don't know within seconds with ideas, breakthroughs, marketing, branding, and it's extremely entertaining as well. And of course, we have our daily webinars where we give free content without high-level pitches, value in times like this as well. So everyone, please be safe. Or Francie's view, do what the hell you want, fly, don't wear a mask, you just go for it. Be safe. Be bird shit crazy. You decide. We'll see you next week. Thank you.